Time for another segment of A Critical Perspective, Micdrop, where I recognize those woke wrecking takes that I couldn't have said better myself. Today's Micdrop is from the one and only Jason Whitlocke. Jason is the host of Fearless, and he is the leader of the Fearless Army. I think he has the best podcast, cybercast, infotainment, whatever you want to call it. I know it is must-see. But I advise you to bring your extinguisher with you because he is always starting a fire. One of the things I love about Jason is he just says what many know and others think and ponder, but are afraid to say it when it comes to many things, but especially when it comes to race. That's one of the reasons why he's fearless. Let's check it out.
We got to snap out of it and realize that this whole little racial debate that they have us in is a gimmick and a scheme. It's a Trojan horse that's dislodging men from the responsibility of being men. Any man that transitions, goes through some surgery, takes some hormones to become a woman, we've turned into a hero. And they're the most courageous people on the planet. And many of us that call ourselves believers have co-signed this madness. I've talked to so many friends that have belonged to the same church for years and have watched their ministers over the last 20 years pivot on a dime from preaching what was in the actual Bible about sexuality to now never touching that and constantly talking about being inclusive, constantly talking about equity, constantly talking about diversity. They've changed their language and their message to fit the times. But most of these ministers are very slick about injecting this garbage into the gospel. They live in fear of their congregation. They live in fear of being outside social media popularity. They don't want the heat of standing on the word. And many men don't want the heat of leadership. They're cowards. They're raising their hands and surrendering. And that's why the whole D.I.E. religion, diversity, inclusion, and equity, that religion, so many people in the congregation are women, particularly black women, because they're single mamas. I apologize and hope that I'm being heard properly, because if I sound like some sexist pig that's anti-women, I'm not. I'm pro-men doing their jobs. This world is in total chaos because men refuse to do their jobs, because men are refusing to take their responsibility of leadership seriously.
I told you, he's fearless, he's fire. Some of you watching this may have never heard this spoken so boldly before, but we're at that state now. What I can say from nearly 2 decades of working with churches all across the country is sadly he's right. I wish that it wasn't so, but it is, fam. It's one of the very reasons that I started this. I've lived what he's saying, and I couldn't be quiet anymore. In fact, I had a couple of conversations in 2020 with pastors in the middle of this BLM defund the police mess. And it's easier to throw on a I Can't Breathe t-shirt and hop in the pulpit and virtual signal and parrot woke talking points versus pointing out the real problems in their pews. I don't do that. You're gonna mess with some money there. Why? You want to know why? Hashtag House of Cards. That may be a little too coded for some. So here's the answer. Take it away, Jason.
And I'm not going for this racial okie-doke that is coming from the church. The church is working hand in hand with the LGBTQ and all the other movements trying to dismantle men. And they're pretending like they're not. But anytime they're promoting this racial idolatry, and it's in the black and the white church, everybody swallow the Black Lives Matter BS. That Marxist, anti-God religion, Black Lives Matter. It was swallowed by both black and white churches and preached from the pulpit.
It may seem ridiculous, but it's real. And I'm here to testify. One of my former accounts, the pastor was doing a weekly podcast, and he would call out the names. You know, say their names. George Floyd, Tamir Rice, Mike Brown, Breonna Taylor, Freddie Gray. Say their names. Innocent African Americans murdered by police. Our community is in fear. We're afraid of the police. We're targeted. Jim Crow has a little brother, and he's even worse. Bull crap. He never once mentioned in any of those episodes that I edited one of the names of over 200 of the black kids that year who were killed, even some who were from that county by other blacks. Not one. Not one. But you couldn't beat him running up to a podium to hold a press conference to promote a protest to blame the police. Then they hop in their luxury cars and drive to their homes in their gated communities far, far, far away from the ghettos where their church is. And don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on what they have. We have it too. But don't deceive. Don't lead people astray intentionally to get it, either by omission or commission. It's still wrong. You won't stand for truth because you don't want to lose that comfort, those perks. Meanwhile, the sheep are dying. Woe to you. Woe to you. So Jason Whitlocke, this Micdrop trophy is for you. I think you're going to get many more. Thank you for being fearless. Thank you for providing a platform for those who are willing to stand. You inspired me to step out of my comfort zone and to do what I'm doing. I'm just so thankful for the way that the Lord is using you, bro. That's for real, for real. And for everyone who sees this, please go over and subscribe to the Fearless YouTube channel. Like I said, it is awesome. Go back and watch previous shows. Watch the clips of important conversations. It is mind-blowing and eye-opening. Anywho, that's a wrap for this edition of A Critical Perspective Mic Drops. If you've been redeemed by the King of Kings, then I am your brother, no matter your color. Remember this, life isn't fair, but God is just.